Hello everyone, so I wanted to do another video for my new series, whatever I called it. The idea is that we're trying to break through to single digit queue right now, and we want to see how that works on multiple servers. We're starting a little bit with OGS, that might be one of the harder ones, but I also have to wait a little bit before PandaNet has enough players. So remember, the thing that we're doing with this series is that I have a lot of restrictions. I'm only allowed to really play a certain amount of joseki. The main focus is on strong and weak groups, reduction first and invasion last. We'll see if we can do some other things here to simplify some stuff, but for now, I still need to figure it out as we go along, and hopefully these videos are helpful. Let's get into a game here if we can find one.
Game started.
All right, we got a game here, and I am black here, and we are going to be playing just the 3-4 points. Let's say hello. Our opponent is 12Q. As I said, we're just doing 3-4 points. We really want to keep this as simple as we can, and really not have to focus too much on joseki. So we'll see what they do. All right, they're approaching low, which means I'm going to be kicking and jumping. Yep, kick and jump. You don't ever usually want to play high or anything like that because it does add a lot of aji to this position, but this kick and low move here makes it very simple. Here, I'm not exactly sure what I want to play the most, but this is actually an old school way of playing. So I'm going to play this move first. This is sort of pressuring this group. And if they don't respond, maybe we'll be able to do some invasions and show you how that works. If they do respond, I think I might respond as well, because we want to make sure they can't invade and do a lot of damage to us. Okay, they're doing that one. I think that's actually good. I think there's nothing really wrong with this. This is a good idea. I don't really want them to have an enclosure with an extension, and I don't need to do this invasion right now. So my first priority, according to very basic opening theory, is to get rid of that extension. So I'm going to do this splitting move here. As I said, we're keeping this extremely simple. And I'm not even going to go all the way, try to do anything special. We're just going to 2-space base here. They should probably just protect the corner. That's actually a really nice move here. Very good. And then we're going to be jumping up. So you want to jump on the side that is the weakest. So this corner is extremely strong, very solid. This corner has a lot more weakness, right? There's only 2 stones compared to 3 stones, and these are wide stones instead of narrow. So we're going to jump over here. This makes sure our group is very strong, and we don't have to worry about it. Nice. I like that they are just playing another move on this side. But now that we have a strong group on the left, and our corners are all really strong and everything, we can then do this invasion. So we can see how this goes, see what they play. The most common move is to attach on top. They did not want to attach on top. And so this is where we're going to get into some of the more complicated aspects of this, but we only really need to know it for this particular invasion, this 3-space here. So normally we want to push up here to try to separate the stones. And then we can play a really nice basic move. We can just extend down here. This extending down gives us a lot of liberties, which allows us to connect to the corner and potentially to connect to this side. They have a lot of cutting points. So now we can just Hane here. As I said, this is also going to be the most complicated thing that I do probably. Because if you can really understand just one invasion, you can do a lot of understanding for the rest of them too. Okay, they're cutting. If we want to be a little bit annoying, we can probably actually capture these stones if we really try. That's not our goal right now. Our goal right now is to save our 3 stones. So there's an Atari here, there's this attachment here, there's Ataris here, and like all this sort of stuff. So I'm going to do this Atari. It's going to make them strong. I'm going to play it the most straightforward way I can. Then we have this attachment, which they should just go to capture the stone in the center. Okay, and now that they did that, we can just play one more move to make sure our group is perfectly safe. They capture, which I think is a good idea. And so now we just need to look for what's like the strongest thing we can do locally. And that's because this stone has not been captured, we can actually probably just save it. If we save it, we are attacking this group. So surrounding this feels like a really good idea. So I don't know the best way to do it, but usually you want to push. They are playing an interesting move. They're threatening to capture our stone. There's a lot of weakness that we have here. We could just play here and make sure that we are strong. And I think that's probably actually the right idea. If we connect here, they can attach, they hane, they maybe try to kill everything. We just want to make sure we're connected. So I'm going to play this move to make sure we are connected. And here we can just Atari, which is really nice. We don't need to defend yet. And we can even push here because we have enough liberties. We don't need to defend yet, which is really cool. And now we could go back and defend. We technically don't have to. We should usually just make sure there's no Aji in our positions. So we're going to defend like this. And now our group should be really strong. I guess a defense I should maybe talk about more is the tiger's mouth, because that sometimes gives you more eye shape, a little bit easier. So I'll have to think about that one. Okay, they're coming over the top of our stones here. This is not threatening to kill them. So we're going to play this, potentially this move, this tiger's mouth move here. It's a jump. We're making a table shape here. So doing that, we're going to make this table shape. Now they're going to try to attack our group. This group is actually really strong. If we Atari here and just play any move on the first line, we are already alive. But we really want to make sure our group doesn't get surrounded. So we're going to be jumping out first. It seems like maybe they realize that this group is not alive. So they're just not even going to try to protect it. And our goal is, again, just to jump out to make sure we're not surrounded. And we're even going to keep jumping. I think we're probably fine if they try to do anything special here. But if we really want to be careful, instead of jumping here, we could also do a diagonal. When you have too many jumps in a row, maybe they can wedge into your position. So a diagonal means that when they wedge, you can Atari on the side where you have the diagonal, giving it a tiger's mouth and defending. So we could diagonal here to threaten to surround this side, even though I think they can live pretty quickly. Yep, they're doing that one. It doesn't really matter which move we play. Anything is going to be fine. So when anything is fine, usually you want to take a liberty away from your opponent. Right? You can play any of these moves. That's good. But taking a liberty is often really, really, really good. I just want to take Tengen because I really like Tengen. So I'm going to play that now. And see, we're not surrounded. We're running towards one of our other groups. We're feeling really good. This is where we could probably cut, honestly. This is maybe too much for my opponent. But we're not going to worry about cutting. We're just going to make sure that our group is independently alive. So I'm going to push. And when you are threatening the hane at the head of 2 stones, I like to keep pushing until I'm not threatening that anymore. So it's no longer the hane at head of 2. I could play away now, but you can also push one more time for the hane at head of 3 stones on my opponent. And so they usually should respond again. They did not respond again. They usually should. So we can actually get this hane, which will be really nice in the future. They are surrounding our corner now. So we do probably want to do something to make sure our corner is not surrounded. So I'm going to just jump. I could attach here and try to do something fancy. I'm just going to jump here to make sure our corner is strong. So even if it is surrounded, we should be okay. And they're playing a slightly weird move. So now we can actually go back and do this attachment here. We made a strong move first, make sure the corner is alive. And now we can attach here, which is what we wanted to do originally. Because that still would have been fine back then. But now the attachment's even stronger. Because now we're separating these stones. And we're going to keep separating. We can just make another table shape, which is nice. We can even pull back, which is good. We can even do this bump, which is nice. Any sort of shape you like. The outside's usually more important, so I'm going to make this table shape here. That way we're all the way out towards the center, and we're separating these groups really nicely. We're jumping again. I'm going to jump as well. Make sure they can't connect. 100% separated. Oh, okay. We're on the 4th line here. Again, this is sort of like the same idea here. We want to push, and we can maybe even push one more time. Yep, just push one more time here. Sort of like the hane, the head of 2 and 3 stones. We don't want to let them in the corner, so I will just block directly. And we don't want to allow them to get any sort of special hane or anything here, so we want to hane it ahead of their stones. Make our group extremely powerful. We want to keep some of our ice space here, so I will just block. Okay, they're playing the hane. I am just going to just block and connect. There's no reason not to. We want to make sure that we don't have any problems here They decided not to do anything, so we will just capture. It's okay if they're alive. We don't really care. This is a double Atari. This is something you should be able to read. So I'm going to double Atari here. They should have just backed off. This is the right move that they should have played. Okay, and we get to just capture again. Threatening to come underneath now. Just connect is fine if we want to do that. Yeah, just make sure we're strong. I think that's always going to be okay. Right, they're peeping at us. They're probably trying to just make eyes, so it's fine. This is where we can make a nice bamboo joint to connect everything together without any worries, so I will do that. All right, and now they are mostly alive. If we really want to kill, just to sort of highlight it for you, we can play this move, which is threatening to take away this eye. All right, we just block. This is good. Remember, you do want to check your cutting points. If they cut here, we do have to connect, but then it is just a ladder. And because we have this stone, it actually makes it even more ladder-like, you could say. Makes it even easier. All right, they're trying to just make eyes here. Again, if we really want to try to kill, we have this really nice tiger's mouth move here that pushes through. Yeah, and so their group is probably dead, but I'm not going to worry about that. What I really want to worry about is just making sure all my groups are connected here through the center. So I'm just going to, I guess we could do a diagonal or a jump again. We have this extra reinforcement for this jump, so I'll just do a jump again here. We're just connecting all of our stones together. And then we can go back after we're strong. We'll connect here. We can go back after we're strong to play some of these hanes that we wanted to play earlier. This is allowing us to play the nice hane on the top side. There's a hane that had 2 stones, right? So we usually feel good about this. If you really want to make it a 2-stone hane, you can even push here to make it really obvious what it is. And you could have an Atari and another Atari, but I'm just going to connect solidly, which is now threatening all those Ataris. You don't have to do them directly. Sometimes backing off and connecting is the right way to use the Aji, because they will need to defend in some way. For example, we have like this Atari here, and then an Atari here. They should capture. They didn't capture, which means we can block here, threatening to capture the 2 stones again. They should have captured. And we have this nice tiger's mouth to connect all of our stones up, threatening this stone as well. And so we feel really, really nice with this. We got to reduce without having to invade. We got to almost invade, basically. Our group is really strong. We're probably alive, but I still think it's good to make sure that everything is connecting as best we can. And since we're also surrounding this group, I think it's fine as well. So we're just playing moves to try to connect. Just connect here, make sure they can't push through our shape. They are still threatening this wedge, which has a lot of cutting points, so we're going to play the tiger's mouth here to get rid of that wedge. And again, if we're really trying to kill, we can play this second tiger's mouth, trying to push through. They can go and live, and we can push through this stone here. Yep, push through. Because they need to make another eye over here now. But they didn't. It's not too big of a deal. I don't think we even need to respond. We can just say they're alive now. Because if we play here, they can play over here. If we play over here, they can play in here. So they're alive. We don't need to worry. Now we can go back to that other hane that we wanted, right? The hane head of 3 stones here. When you have the hane head of 3 stones, sometimes you can just cut. Does seem to work, actually. If we want to do a lot of reading here, we have this cutting point. We have this cutting point. I'm not going to worry about that. We want the double hane. The idea is to separate from the outside. And then since we're strong, we're 100% alive on this side, we can just keep pushing, because if they cut and then connect here, we can connect to our other stones on the outside. Yep, so they cut here. We have to connect. We can capture this stone still, just pushing it all the way down to the side of the board. But we can also try to connect to our other group. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to connect. We can actually just extend or do this tiger's mouth or do the Atari here. We have a lot of options. Easiest option to just live is to do this one. So we will just capture. Make it really easy on ourselves. We will just connect to get rid of all of our Aji. We could have played differently, but again, I want to keep it easy. And they still actually have a lot of Aji with this hunt ahead of 2 sort of thing, because one of the problems with this is that there's all these cutting points sometimes matter, but I think it's probably okay, so we're not going to worry about it. And we could maybe invade or do something, but I think that's not necessary now. I think what we need to do is we need to just play end game. So we're just going to play these moves on the second line. Second line moves are really important. Playing this one because this is a weak group. I don't know if this is killing, but this is a weak group. So if we get this diagonal, maybe we can threaten to kill it. They didn't want to let us do that. That makes sense. We have another diagonal here where they're undercut on the top side, so this feels like a weak area. So that's the other priority. Another place that feels weak, so we want to play here first. We could do the monkey jump here, which is fun, but we're not going to do monkey jumps. We're just going to turn here, threatening to jump inside. And we can play a Hane and connect. They should respond. Then we can play another Hane and connect. Again, they should respond. They might try to get another move out of it first, but they should respond. We can just do some more of this sort of stuff. I don't know which one I like more. I think I don't like any of these over here, but we'll jump down here. Another second line move. Yep, just capture. And if he blocks, we will just connect, as we can do the Hane and connect. We got all the other second line moves, so it's okay if he gets a different one. And we'll also get this one here because it's available to us. And we'll push up to make our group strong. Get rid of any sort of liberty issues. Block with the tiger's mouth. Why not? Feels really strong. Oh, that's an interesting move. Okay. And we'll just do our nice Hane and connects again. Getting all the end game. Yep. Same on the bottom side. And so now we just want to look for if we have any sort of weakness anywhere. And the only weakness I sort of see is, again, this iron pillar with a kicking move. Usually there's a weakness there. So I want to try to clean up that weakness. So I'm going to play this diagonal. That's the one we've been focusing on in the last game and this one. Oh, they decided to try to make that into an eye right away. Yeah, that should be fine. There's no reason to really worry about that. If we really wanted to be mean with our reading, we could always do something like this one. We cut first and see how they respond. But I like this move. I want to see how they respond just for fun. We're threatening to come in this area. I just want to see. I was curious. Okay, good. They did respond properly. That's what I was hoping for. I'm just going to do an Atari here. Get a little bit of my ice base, my points at this point, because everything's strong. If we can capture that, that's a lot of points. And we can even take away the eye here and give us another eye. So that's another point. So they connected here. We had Ataris and Ataris everywhere. So that seems like a good idea. There's some stuff here. This area is open to some extent. We could fix that. Just a bunch of small moves here. So we'll just play any of these and see how it goes. First line moves and just 1 or 2 points in the center should be okay. I like this empty triangle threatening to push and cut, or just Atari and capture. That feels okay. It's just fun to play. And I'll even poke here. We're sort of cleaning up this area, making it so they can't get rid of anything. We can even play over here, try to be really fancy, but no need to really be fancy. Going to Hane and reduce this area a little bit. We can wedge. So there's just a reduction, so it's all that matters here. We got a point here, and we reduced a couple points. I think I said this in the last video, as long as you are, this is actually a dead group. Interesting. So they did not know it was dead. Okay. But yeah, as long as all of your moves have some sort of point value, you're doing really well in the end game. It doesn't matter if you're playing the biggest moves, as long as it has some value. Because it's really easy to play moves that don't have any value. In this case, this is actually a dead group. To really make sure it's a dead group, we can do a throw in here. And that makes this into a false eye. This one we can just block. They can Atari us. We have to connect, but that's all we have to worry about. Oh, they're going to peep instead. Okay. If we connect the Atari here, we connect, they go down. We just have to make sure we have more liberties. And I think we do. So we will connect. If we're really worried, we can always give up these 3 stones. But in this case, we have enough liberties. This should be something that you can figure out. These 3 liberties is actually a classic shape. You can actually attach here or even play here. I think this is the more normal sort of fun shape here. So we'll attach. You do have to be really careful about this sort of stuff. If you're reading it out and taking your time and reading it out, you need to make sure that you are not dying. And if you are, you can just give up stones. A lot of this isn't about necessarily trying to win the game. It's about trying to play these solid moves and play good, and follow these basic principles. So we're going to make sure that our group can't be captured here. So we're going to connect solidly here. Yeah, so some of this reading, I think, is maybe a little tiny bit higher than the easy collection that I pointed out before, but it should basically still be fine. I don't think it matters too much which one we go for, so I will just connect here. Yep, I'm just going to block. We're connected all the way through here, so we are okay. Connect to make sure there's no co for some stones. That would be very annoying. Okay, that's a nice move to get a point here. I'm going to play here as well, threatening the Atari and then connect and then coming in. That would be very annoying for him. Okay, I will block. I don't want them pushing in, getting any special here, so I will block here first before going back and doing the Atari. Again, our focus is defending ourselves first and then attacking our opponent if they don't defend. Like in this case, I probably could go back here and do the Atari. This is actually really big. I'm going to block first, make sure there's nothing that I accidentally missed here. There's not some sort of weird thing that's going on. And then when they play a move that I know is not important, then I can go back. Okay, like this one, we're going to Atari. This does give us maybe a point if we get to connect here. I think actually we're already connected all the way through, so we do just have this point. But now we can go back and play this Atari. We don't have to respond again to this area, so we're good. We can just connect here. Now we got to reduce a few points on this inside area. I think technically we don't need to respond anywhere over here, so we'll go back to some of these second line moves. There is this Atari on top that we can capture. And we can even Hane on top here as well. I think these are basically the last second line moves. And I don't know if it matters what we do, because we can connect on either side. So I'll just connect here. Okay, they're doing that one. It doesn't really matter, I think. So I think we're basically done with the game. So we're going to play this Atari, and we're going to fight the Ko. At least one time. At least one time. Okay, Atari. Fine, I'll connect. But I'm just going to let him have it. There aren't really any other points on the board. We just need to make sure everything's connected and good. So I'm going to play here. They can play over there. It'll be fine. Oh, is this actually a co-threat? This one, they play here. We do this one, they capture. This one, Atari, and go up. No, it should be fine. Should be fine. Yeah. This should be fine overall. Shouldn't really be anything there. So I was wondering if it accidentally was. So yeah, we're just going to play some basic Dame points and see if they want to finish Dame or if they want to just pass. Okay. Some people really like Dame, so that's why I wanted to see. Cutting here. So he's trying to say there is something I have to worry about right here. The thing that you should really try to focus on a lot of these times is that you have a cutting point somewhere in your area. You don't have that many liberties. You have 3 or less liberties. You usually want to just defend that. So I think I will just defend this one here. And they have to cut here, which I can capture. And they have to take a liberty here and a liberty here. There's too many liberties that they have to take. So our other side is still strong. And there's also this Ko. Okay, they cut here, which means that we can just Atari. This is not an Atari on our stones, so we are okay. If we want to be even safer, we probably play this other Atari. I think they're probably looking at something there. I just want to see if they would try to do something. I want to see what they're going to do at least. Okay, they connected. If they play this one, that's an Atari. So I will just capture these stones. I do need to play a move eventually. It's all done now. If I was trying to read it all out properly, I probably don't even need to play this original D13 move, but this is often a really good idea to make sure you don't make some sort of mistake when they play something over here. As long as you know the other side's fine, you should defend the one weakness that you think you aren't 100% sure of.
Pass.
Oh, you passed. Okay, I'll pass as well.
Move the dead stones.
And looks like everything is okay. So accept. All right. I win by about 40 points, 38.5, I guess. I think this was actually a really nice game. It seems like the reading here is definitely a little bit higher than what you would find on PandaNet. So we will actually find out if that is correct or not. This actually may be closer to some of the single-digit Q games I want to do, but we're still going to try our best to keep it very basic. Something I was actually really impressed by with my opponent was just the fact that they actually knew that this group was dead. It was kind of interesting. They did kind of know. And they did a good job of just playing very, very basic and keeping their groups very strong. They even forced before defending and then made sure their group was really good. So I think, as I said, I think they did it really well. They played a couple things which could have been punished, which I really do want to point out just in case they do see this. There is this cutting point here. Even if they Atari me here, maybe I can do this one, maybe I can do this one to try to cut it off. That seems like it maybe doesn't work. So even if I just extend here and turn, there's all these Ataris and stuff here. There's like a lot of this Aji. Aji doesn't necessarily have to work, right? Like I said, this is something I could do, and I showed this even though it doesn't work. But that also means if I have any moves over here, it all of a sudden does work. So they do have to be a little bit careful of that. But overall, I think they actually did really well. I think I still need to figure out how to make it as basic as possible, but I think I did as good of a job as I can for now. We're just defending, we're separating, we're making sure we're not getting too surrounded. And if we are surrounded, we're staying strong. We're just blocking and making sure all of our areas are good. And there's a couple small reading things like this one here. They can't capture. We can do this Atari. If they connect, we capture. It's not even actually that complicated, but it's something where if you were able to take your time, like 30 seconds, you could figure it out. After I Atari'd, he realized what the problem was. First of all, there's a ko. He has to just connect. He can't just capture the ko. So it seems like reading-wise, I'm not going that much beyond what my opponent is doing. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are having a good day. And let me know if I can improve this at all. Anyway, have fun.